All right, welcome to our team training and inspiration call Monday midday. We're calling it the Monday midday call now, right? Because we're not here at night anymore, and I love being with you guys earlier in the day. It makes me feel like we get off to a fast foot every single week. Big shout out to the leaders that helped last week on the call: Leah, Kara, Phyllis, Barbie, maybe Kirsten, I can't remember. But thank you everybody for helping out on the team call last week. Shout yourself out if you helped and I didn't say thank you in the comments. We're so grateful for you helping out last week while we were driving to St. George. We're back and so excited for Momentum Movement today. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are registered for Momentum Movement and getting on the webinar today or planning to watch the replay. I know some of you work full-time and so you have to catch the replay. I'm so excited for the content that we're going to be teaching on that call today. And this is sort of like a build up to what's coming in that. And so if you were following either Brooke, myself, Hannah, Kirsten, Phyllis, Chris, Christy, Kim, all the jewels, Katie, all the jewels on our team, Sammy, everybody. If you're following us on social media over the weekend, you might have seen some surprise things announced. You maybe saw us posting boxes that said something's coming, shh, surprise, and maybe saw us in beanies. Or today, you might be seeing people with tumblers. We're giving away clues every other day until next Monday. And next Monday night at midnight Eastern time, which would officially be Tuesday the 17th, right? But we're just telling you like it's happening on Monday. You're going to need to stay up late on Monday night. If you are in Mountain Time, it will happen at 10 p.m. Mountain Time on Monday night. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to be midnight Eastern Time on the night of Monday. So you'll stay up Monday night, and at midnight, something really exciting is launching. Pay attention to announcements that we are going to be putting in our team threads and chats later today that are going to give you a special job and task to do right now that is just secret for our team to get ready for that. And we're not giving away any surprises. We're not going to be telling you anything. We're just going to tell you one thing that we want you to buy so that you can be even more ready for the launch that's coming 1 week from today. So we're so excited to keep your eyes peeled for that. If you struggle to keep up on team chats, this is the day to make sure you scroll all the way back and make sure you haven't missed an announcement. So that'll be later today. We'll be dropping that in there probably after Momentum Movement. So anyway, I want to talk about, we'll get to more of that later. Before we really get into that, what I want to talk to you about today is the most poisonous thought that I know I think sometimes, and I know you think sometimes. And that is, this is so hard. Drop a yes in the comments if you have ever described your business that way, thought about your business that way, or are thinking about it right now in that way, right? You might have thought that about your business this morning, right? In fact, when I describe network marketing to people, a lot of times I will say it's just really hard, right? But it's just a thought, and it's actually a really poisonous thought. And so what I want to bring to everyone's awareness today is I want you to ask a question of yourself. Is that thought serving me in my business? Do you think that that is something that is helping you feel inspired, empowered, motivated? Because I know that when I choose the thought, this is so hard, right? When I choose that thought, it feels really heavy. and I feel like I'm carrying something really, really heavy. And Kara says, Kara says that the thought that she thought was most poisonous was, I already know that. Yes, that one is also very poisonous. Yes. But when I choose the thought, this is so hard, it actually makes my life really miserable. It makes me hate my work and hate my life. Right. And so it's not that you can't think that it's hard. You can absolutely think that it's hard. You can say to yourself, this is just the part that's really hard. Like you can absolutely say that to yourself, and you should. But what I want you to have a greater awareness of is when you choose, this is so hard, this is so hard, this is so hard, how is it serving you? And what is it making? How is that coming out in your business? Could you choose that thought maybe just 50% of the time? Like maybe we can't just go cold turkey and cut off that thought because we're just so used to thinking that thought, right? So we can't be like, oh, okay, it's not hard anymore, but we're like crying curled up in the fetal position because it's just so hard, right? But what makes something less hard, right? Like having a baby the first time was really, really hard. I remember it took 12 hours, which I know is not something to complain about because most moms, like, it takes longer on their first baby, but 12 hours. And I had horrible Pitocin contractions. They wouldn't break my water. I wasn't progressing. Like, it was just super hard. And then after I had my second baby, I was like, that's the easiest thing I've ever done in my whole life. And then when I went to have my third baby, I was like, having a baby is so easy. I'm just excited. And same with my fourth baby. I was like, oh, this is the fun part where we get to have the baby. This is so easy, right? Because I had confidence in my ability. I had a positive experience. And because I had a different perspective, it was easier for me to approach it with a more positive attitude. So you've heard me talk about 50-50 a lot, right? How 50% of the time you're going to feel really positive and the other 50% of the time you're going to feel really negative. And what I was thinking about is if all you're doing to describe your business in your mind is this is so hard, it's so hard to get to senior ruby, it's gonna be so hard to get to emerald, it's gonna be so hard to re-rank emerald or sapphire or whatever, right? It's gonna be so hard. If that's what you wake up every day choosing 100% of the time, what I want to challenge you on is, are you missing the really easy parts? Because all you're choosing to see is the hard, right? Like when I look at my business and I think, oh my gosh, Kate, it's so hard to do X, Y, and Z, right? I'm missing, like, let's use an example. Like, oh, it's so hard to help someone have the desire to work this business, right? Like it is hard to do that. However, the other 50% of the coin is when they see it, it's really rewarding and I love it. When I see the light bulb switch, it's so fun and easy. And so when you say this is what I'm, and then we're going to move on with our call, but one of the things that I want you to try to do this week, and it's just one little tweak. You don't have to, you can still think it's hard. You can still choose that thought. You can say, this is hard every day. Fine. But then what I want you to train your brain, I want you to trigger your brain that your second thought is, but when I achieve this, when I enroll that next person, or when I develop that next silver, or when I hit that next rank, it's going to be so fun or so exciting, or it's going to feel easier. And so why is this so important? Because when you are feeling the emotions of this is hard right now, you're also following it up with vision casting for yourself on how things are going to get better and that there is a 50% positive on the way. even if you can't see it right now. So that's just what I was thinking about today when I was exercising, is how we really do have the power to, we can have a negative thought and then we can also vision cast for something more positive, or we can look for, like, for example, if you have someone that you're trying to get to their next rank, maybe you have a gold ambassador and you're helping them get to senior gold, and you're telling yourself, oh my gosh, this is so hard, it's so hard to help someone get to senior gold. But then you say to yourself, but I really love getting on Zoom calls with her every day, and I really love how close I feel to her when we're laughing about the messages that we're sending, and how people say the weirdest things, or how they ignore us, or whatever it is, right? And so one of the things that Brooke and I this week when we were in St. George, we were like, oh my gosh, what we're doing is so hard, but this is so fun because we're laughing and we're crying and we're getting better. And if I hear the word network marketing one more time in one day, I'm going to barf. Like, but it was just like, we could have the hard and we could have it be hard and challenging, but we can also have it be really fun and find the positives in it too, right? So you have that joy along the way, right? Okay, so now it's my pleasure to turn the mic over for a minute to Abby. Abby is, hold on, let me decline that call and put my phone in do not disturb so nobody bothers us again. Abby is, she's Sarah Morgan's sister. Sarah Morgan is sponsored by Shannon, who's sponsored by Leah, who I went to college with. So just so you kind of know like the family history of all of that, right? And Abby, she is going to share her health story with us today. And she's also going to talk about, so she just fast started gold last month. And something that she is doing really well is she's getting people to start the business fast. Like, she's having a lot of people that are saying, I want to make money with you. And I thought that I would have her share how she's doing that, because when Brooke and I were talking to her this last week, she was using some verbiage that we just have never used before. So we thought it'd be great for her to share that with you today. So Abby, if you'll share just like 5 minutes about your health story, and then I'll like give you some questions about the business so that you don't have to think about it. Where are you?
Hey, hi guys.
There she is.
Hi, I'm Abby. I mean, Emily already introduced me, but so my whole life I've had health issues. I grew up sick all the time. Like, I didn't go to school half the time because my stomach hurt always, and I had migraines and stuff. And when I was in 8th grade, my foot broke, and I had no trauma to it. My foot just was hurting really bad. And I went to the doctor, and he said, oh yeah, your bones just broke. Like, you're gonna wear a boot. And I wore a boot from 8th grade to my senior year of high school, on and off the whole time, and my foot never healed. So I finally had to get surgery. And then when I was 15, my back broke with no trauma. I had 5 fractures from T7 to T12. And it was just like, I've always had health issues. Nothing ever went right. And then when I was 19, I had really bad pain, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain right now. I couldn't go to work. And I finally went to the doctor, and he said, oh, you have ovarian cysts that are rupturing, but you actually have Crohn's disease also. And I was like, what? I have Crohn's disease? Okay, well, that kind of makes sense, at least. Like, it helps me understand why I was in so much pain and why my stomach hurt all the time. And so I found out I have Crohn's disease. My bones I just have really weak bones. They break and they don't heal. And then I also just found out a few months ago that I have a disease called Interstitial Cystitis, which is a disease in the bladder that's super painful. It feels like there's like knives stabbing inside of my pelvis everywhere. And it feels like they're twisting, and I had to pee 24/7. Like, that burning feeling when you have to pee never went away. And then I also had really bad inflammation in my foot, and I thought my foot was broken. So I went to the doctor about 3 months ago, and I said, okay, I'm pretty sure my foot's broken. And he did an x-ray, and he said, no, your foot's not broken. You just have really, really bad inflammation in your foot. And I'm going to prescribe you some medicine. Do you take ibuprofen? And I said, no, I only take it if it's hurting really, really bad, because I just don't like to take medicine. I've never taken medicine. Like my husband always gets upset when I get prescribed antibiotics because I never finish the Z pack or whatever. Like I'll take the 5 until I feel better. And I'm like, okay, that's it. And he's like, take your antibiotics, and I'll hide them so he doesn't see that I didn't take them.
Okay, I seriously have to stop you there because it will make you so that you can't take antibiotics when you need them. Because what actually happens when you do that, just as like a little science lesson here, because I used to do this too. I used to do this when I was little, and it makes you resistant to antibiotics, so they won't work. Like it will make it so that they don't work. So you have to finish your antibiotics from now on if you ever need them again. And everyone watching, because if you don't finish it, even though you feel better, like it will make you resistant to antibiotics for the rest of your life. Like you will not be able to use amoxicillin because it won't work for you anymore, for example. So
geez.
now you know the why. So now you'll finish it if you need it. And now, hopefully with your gut health products, you won't need them as frequently. But sorry, keep going.
Girl, that's so funny. No, and I literally I never take medicine unless I'm cramping really bad. Like that's the only time that I'll take medicine. And after surgery, and I'm pretty resistant to medication anyway. So I've had quite a few surgeries, and I'd be put on painkillers and it doesn't help with the pain. And I don't get loopy or anything. I just kind of get tired. And so I'm pretty resistant to most things. And so I'm not taking medicine. This doesn't help. And so I scheduled my appointment to go to my foot doctor, and he told me to take these medicine. And then a week later, I was supposed to go to the urologist and get tested for that disease. And what they have to do is they have to stick 2 catheters up your urethra, and they have probes on them, and they have to stick it on your bladder, and they shock your bladder. And I said, I don't want that done. That sounds absolutely terrible. But I was like, I need to figure this out because I'm in so much pain all the time. And so the night before I was supposed to go to my doctor, my sister Sarah called me and she said, Abby, I know you're kind of hesitant about these products, but I really think you should do them. Like, I think they'd really help you. And I asked her questions, like if it would help with my diseases and stuff. And she said, yeah, it really would. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be spending the same amount of money tomorrow at the doctor's and all my prescriptions as I would to buy the $99 welcome pack. So I was like, okay, I'm trusting you, Sarah. I would rather take it the natural way. So let me do this. And I ordered it. And then I went to go. That was on September 6th. I got my pack and I went to my sister's house in Missouri because we're moving out there. And we went house shopping. And within a few days, I noticed my sugar cravings were kind of going away, but I didn't know if that was because of the plexus or just because my sister doesn't have much sugar in her house. So I was like, well, maybe it's just because I'm not eating sugar all the time. But I used to crave sugar 24/7. I would take those big bags that you buy for Halloween of candy to work, and I would eat them throughout my shifts. And so I noticed that. And I also have really bad knees, and my knees creak every time I go up the stairs, and they're just in pain a lot. And so I noticed that those were the 2 things that I noticed in the beginning, is that my knees were hurting less and that my sugar cravings were less. And within 2.5 weeks, I looked back and I said, oh my gosh, my foot pain is 50% gone. And that was crazy because I thought my foot was broken. And then I also looked back and I was like, my bladder pain is gone and I don't have to pee 24/7, which was crazy because I literally would go pee at least 6 times right before bed. And I would come and I would lay down and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pee my pants. I have to go pee again because I just felt like I had peed 24/7. And even if nothing came out, I was so nervous that I was going to pee the bed. And so I know those were the first things that I noticed. And that's when I posted, was 2.5 weeks after I ordered my welcome pack. And I said, okay, I'm like, I don't really want to do the business, but it'd be nice to be able to pay for my products. And because I've done Herbalife before and I've done Monat, and I never, I wasn't good at it. It didn't work out for me. I never made any money. And so I finally posted 2.5 weeks later, and I had 50 comments. And I was like, what in the world? And within 2 days, I made my $305. And then after that, I was like, okay, I want to do the business. And so that's where it started. Emily, do you have your questions or do you want me to keep going?
Okay. So first of all, your health story is so inspiring, right? I'm just I love our products. They're just incredible to see it change your life so much, and I'm a huge believer that the reason why when people have done other businesses, when they come here to Plexus and they are able to build a business when they have it in the past, I'm a huge believer that it's because you are so passionate, because it
Exactly.
changes your life so deeply that you're like, I literally can't stop myself from sharing because it's changed my life, right? And then obviously, I'm biased. I think we have a better compensation plan than anyone else out there, yada, 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 right? But I would love for you to tell us what has helped you to fast start gold and to get so many people working the business early on, right? Because most people, I find that a lot of people, they're learning still at this phase of being gold at how to get people to share. And I feel like every other day you have a new person ready to share. And so can you just share the verbiage that you're using when you're signing them up and how you're making that happen?
Okay. So I actually never like considered myself someone who was getting a ton of people to share, but then my sister and Emily were like, "You're getting a lot of people who want to share." And I'm like, "Do you think so?" Like I feel like I only have a few, but um so what I have done is, sorry, my dog is scratching his neck if you can hear that clicking in the background. Um but what I've done is I haven't introduced it as like selling. So when people are like kind of hesitant, what I'll say is I say, yeah, so we just have a referral code. Like you have a referral number that you'll put in, and that's how you can make your money. And I say, if you want to go after that, like you can sell, but like your first ones is just referrals because it's not really business when you only have a few people. And so I think that's helped a lot. Is I'm like, yeah, just like if you want to make $300 back or $550 back right now, I'm like, yeah, you can do it. You just have a referral code, and we have bonuses going on this month. And so, yeah, that's just your referral number. And then after, if you want to do the business, you can, but you don't have to, because when I started, like I said, I didn't want to do the business. And then I got my 3 people and I was like, okay, maybe. And then I got 10 people and I got like 6 people in one day. And I was like, okay, all right, I want to do the business. And then I became passionate and I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is so fun. And I absolutely love doing this. But that's kind of what I've been saying to people instead of like, yeah, please sell with me, because no one wants to be like, yeah, let's sell. Like that's kind of I mean, I don't want to do that if people tell me that, like, please do the business, sell with me. And then I have a few people, like a few friends that are like, I have one of my very best friends. She was like, oh, you're in a pyramid scheme and I don't want you to keep asking me to join these things, because she's really struggling for money. And she's like, I don't know if I can afford these products, but she has Lyme's disease and she really needs the products. And so I was like, you should just like join this momentum movement and do a little bit of the business with me. And she was really turned off by that. And that's where I kind of was like, okay, I don't want to be asking people to do the business with me all the time. And so I'm like, yeah, you just get a friend and you have a referral code. And that's how I get people to just get a few signups under them.
Well, and I like how I like it's just tweaked a little bit, right? Like I like how you say like, oh, you just have your referral code when you start out, and then later on if you want to like do the business, then you can totally do it as a business. But right now like you're just making your money back. And I've never explained it to someone as like making your money back before. I'm always like, you can make $300 and that can pay for your products, but like this idea of like if you want to get your money back, it's almost like a rebate, right? Like if like when I buy a fridge and they give me a little rebate for $100, like I mail that thing in because I want that rebate, right? And so it's something that people are already really familiar with. And your referral code is just your ambassador ID number, by the way. So when she's calling it a referral code, it's your referral code. It's your ambassador ID number. So okay. What was the other thing I was going to ask you? Shoot. Oh, so Abby works full time and she's not at a job where she can just be on her phone. So she has to be really careful about that. Abby, what would you say are the 3 things that you make sure to do every single day to move your business forward? And then we'll close it up with a few thoughts of what to do right now today to be ready for next week. But Abby, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I was working 16 hours a day, almost like 5 or 6 days a week, because we're planning on moving. So I was like, I need to work, get all the hours in that I can, and get all the money that I can. Um, and so what I was doing is I was like in the morning or at lunch, I was messaging people and I'm just like, hey, kind of following up. And then whenever I would have free time, like most of my meetings were after 6, but then sometimes I would work till 11 or 12 o'clock at night and I would go to work at 8 in the morning. And so I didn't have time to do much stuff. And so just on my little breaks, I would message people. And your team is probably the best tool that you have, because I couldn't have done any of this without my team, because they were always there so often. Like, hey, if you can't do a Zoom, like I'm here, I'm free. Because most of them are stay-at-home moms or they work part-time. And so I think utilizing your team is one of the very most important things that you can do. And it helps build your relationships a lot too. And so that's one thing that I really did. And when people are like, yeah, I can hop on a Zoom, if I wasn't able to, I'd be like, yeah, can you please do that right now? And that was awesome. And I would try to message and stuff when I could, but that was probably the best things that I could do. And so I would say the 3 things that I do is I make sure that I'm, like, checking in on people as much as I can, checking in on people with their products, and I do that at least once a week, but I try to do that twice a week and just like, "Hey, just wanted to see how you're liking the products." And sometimes people didn't even answer. And then troubleshooting is a really big thing. So if people are having problems, I like to troubleshoot and just messaging a few new people every day. And one thing that has worked really well for me, and I think why I got so many people really fast, is because I did not start out messaging just everyone. I would look through my Facebook feed and I would see who had health issues. And people post about their health issues all the time. And so these people would be posting, oh my gosh, my depression is so terrible. My mental health is terrible. I feel sick all the time. I have migraines. I'm so tired. And those are the people that I would message. And I would just say, hey, I saw that you're having these issues. Do you know what it's from? And I actually have one girl who I messaged and she was like, yeah, I have MS and it's terrible. And I said, oh my gosh, I just started these supplements and I don't even like tell them what it is. Right. I just say, yeah, I just started these gut health supplements and they've helped me a ton. And I know that they can help people with MS or with these issues. And she was like, yeah, can you give me more information? And so I sent her the videos and she said, the crazy thing is that I actually had all of these products that you have, like probiotics and all of that stuff in my Amazon cart that I was going to buy from Amazon. And she said, I'm so glad that you messaged me because I need these products and I need good quality products. And she wants to sell really bad because she's like, I have so many issues. If I could make my money back, she has $8,000 worth of medical bills a month. And she's like, I can't afford this and my insurance is about to end. And so I don't know what I'll do. Um, and so that's one thing that I really do is I really try to message people that I know have health issues and that they post about their health issues. And I don't target them. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I saw your post saying that you're overweight. Like I'll never say anything like that. But like, hey, I saw that you're really struggling with depression and stuff. And I struggle with that too. And I'm taking these supplements. And that's what I try to do. So I really try to connect with people that have health issues. And that's probably my number one thing is that I don't like to message just everyone. I like to message people that I know have health issues. And those are my tips.
I love it. So I think the thing that has when I listen to you, the thing that I'm like is I'm like, you're just so relatable, right? And the more relatable we can be to the people we're talking to, the deeper the connection. And then the greater ability we have to help them, right? And then
Mhm.
um, utilizing your team, you have like the most amazing leaders with Leah, Shannon, and Sarah, like incredible line of leaders there. And if you don't, maybe you don't have that many people, you personally here you're watching, like reach to the side, see if you can have someone that can help you. So and then I heard you say about 10 times, I just message people. I message people whenever I can. I message. And so I didn't once hear you say, I posted on Facebook and signed up 10 people. And I know that you are posting and that is helping, right? Because I see your posts. But what I want to say is if you are someone who is posting and you are signing up 10 people from one post, that is awesome. Keep doing that. But if all you're doing is posting and you're not messaging and you're like, I'm not signing anybody up, then you need to start messaging more, right? So Just have some awareness of that. Thank you, Abby, for sharing. Okay, you
You're so
guys.
welcome.
I want to talk to you about the opportunity that we have to get people excited about Plexus again over the next 7 days. Okay. Something huge is coming next Monday, like we talked about at the beginning of this call. And I want you to take the opportunity this week to be reaching out, just like Abby told us was one of her recommendations. I want you to reach out like crazy. If you've been with Plexus for several years, this is the time to be digging and reaching out to people who have stopped ordering. In fact, on Momentum Movement today, if you are going to be on that webinar and you're in that training, we have 12 new reach out messages that you are going to be able to use to reach out to people who have either quit, you want them to come back, or maybe they ordered a few months ago, or they ordered one time and then they aren't reordering this month or whatever it is. We're going to be sharing those messages for you because we want you to make lists of people. Again, your PDF in Momentum Movement is going to lead you into helping you do that. But we want you to be making lists of people this week that you are going to be doing reach outs to, people who have started with you 4 years ago and it's been several years, or they've restarted 3 times and it's why not try for a 4th, or people that ordered, in July when you were working for a rank and then never reordered, or whatever it is. Making lists right now is going to help you and reach out right now. No, we can't give any information about the cost or what it is or anything. But the messages that we're giving in Momentum Movement are so eloquent about how we say it in a way that is just super exciting. I cannot wait for you guys to see those today. So, also, this is the time to be doing a lot of reach outs and follow-ups with people who are on the fence about signing up, because you want as many people to sign up now so that they can purchase then. You have to be a current ambassador. You have to have already had your welcome pack, all those things. So you're going to want to sign up people now so that they can be a part of what's coming next week. So the more people, like, I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, I'm going to hold off my people so they can start with this thing. No, you want them to sign up now so that they can take advantage of what's coming next week. And that's all I can say. Okay. Also, we want to make sure that you are really digging deep into connecting with people and creating stronger relationships, right? Because when we have stronger relationships, we know more about our friends and family. And I'm glad Abby brought that up. Like, she's like, I reach out to people who I know are struggling. Well, those of you who've been doing this business for 4 years, you're like, that ship sailed a long time ago. Like, must be nice to have all these new people I can reach out to, right? Like, I know you're saying it in your head. I know it because I was thinking it too, right? Like, I miss those days when none of my friends had it, right? Like, but here's the thing, like, you have people with health issues that you haven't reached out to yet because you don't know they're struggling. You don't know because maybe you've allowed yourself to only, like, that you're like, well, they're not posting about it or they haven't said anything. But what if you became closer friends with them and you were able to find out more about them, and then you know what to reach out to them about, So it's like, even if you maybe were like listening to Abby talk about how she just reaches out to people who have health issues, and maybe you in your mind were being a little bit sassy and you were like, well, that must be nice. She still has people to reach out to, right? You do too. You have people to reach out to too. You just don't know it. There are a lot of people that don't post about their health issues online, even though there are a lot that do, right? There are a lot that don't because it's private. They're embarrassed about it. They want to hide it. They only talk about it with their closest friends and family. So it doesn't mean that you are like, on this manhunt to become close friends with people to find out their deepest, darkest secrets. No, like, genuinely, whose life can you bless because you are a friend that truly cares about the people around you without a means to an end, right? And if you want to do it with a means to an end, that's fine too. There's no judgment. Like, but if you're feeling like maybe you're not feeling as satisfied if you're doing it just for that, then just know that it's all within your perspective, right? Like,
Emily, can I say one more
yeah,
thing?
totally.
Okay, so that is also a huge thing that I've done is I have been relationship building like crazy. So like when there are my active people on my messenger, I will not say a single thing about Plexus, but I'll message them. And I don't do it to just random people that I absolutely don't know, like to start off with, because I want to be friends with them for a little bit first. But I'll message people like that have just had a baby or that are pregnant, and I will not say a single thing about Plexus. And if something comes up, like I'm like, oh my gosh, how are things going? And they're like, yeah, it's good. And I'm like, is your baby healthy? You know? And they'll say, oh, well, actually, like I'm not producing very much breast milk. And that actually, I got one of my customers from that. And I said, oh, really? Are you taking anything for that? And she's like, no. And I said, well, I have these supplements that I've been taking, and I know that they help in their breastfeed. You can take it while breastfeeding. And then there's people that I'll message for, like I've messaged for 2 months that are like, yeah, I want to sign up now, but I relationship built for so long before. So that's a huge thing is I won't even mention Plexus for a long time unless it comes up in the conversation.
I love that. And I also love that she said only after 2 months of relationship building, she sent a message. I think sometimes we're like, okay, in 6 months, maybe I'll be able to reach out. No, like sometimes a week of relationship building is enough. Sometimes it needs 30 days. Sometimes it needs a year. Sometimes it does need 6 months. But like 30 to 60 days is you can have a lot of connection with somebody during that time. And I like how like you're doing the work now and you're just being a good friend, and then it might lead to something or it might not. But if you're not doing the groundwork, then you're never going to be that person that's going to be able to help them when they're in need, right? Okay, so you guys, thanks for being on the call today. We will see you in 1 hour and 20 minutes on Momentum Movement Webinar 2. The PDF was loaded on Saturday. If you haven't printed it yet, you can print it now. You can go there and get it done. I'm so excited about what we're teaching you about today. It's all going to be things that are really going to help set you up for an amazing launch next week, and also for what's coming this month, which is November, which is typically the highest pay point month that Plexus sees year round. Also, most people have their highest points month ever in the month of November. Historically, when I look back at my own business, it is very reflective of that. And when I look at my team's businesses, they are also reflective of that. People like to shop in November is all I'm saying. Okay, so get ready for some exciting things for the next 3 weeks. And I want to challenge you to, again, when you have a thought that's like, this is really hard, I want you to make a vision casting thought after of like, yeah, but man, it's going to feel so good when it's easy, or something like that. Okay, guys, I love you. I cannot wait to see you on Momentum Movement at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We will see you there. Bye, guys. Have a great week.